Good morning, everybody. Yesterday we did the first cut of alfalfa. We silaged it, put it in a silage pit, covered it up. That's done. Today, first thing I'm doing, I'm gonna clean out this inoculant applicator. I can just take it off and then we're gonna bring it to the barn, rinse it out. All the lines on this thing are already clean because we got a water reservoir that cleans the lines out on the last load of the day. Well, that's awesome. That's all that was left in here. Pretty much nothing. Obviously, if you were gonna go again today, you wouldn't just dump that on the ground. Cleaned out, ready to go for the next time. We're gonna use this chopper probably a month from now. Depends on how much rain we get and when we're gonna start that barley silage. Next thing I'm going to be doing is switching the headers around on this swather. We have a hay bind header we're going to put on here now because we want to cut some grass, make a little bit of hay. First thing I'm going to do though is just grab the air gun in front of the shop there and blow all this stuff out. I might actually run it out to the field and just shoot this out because we don't want that all in front of the shop. This piece of metal my sister picked up in the field when she was cutting. Just stopped the knives. Lucky it didn't go through the chopper. All right, we pulled up to the edge of this field here. Just gonna turn it on, hopefully shoot all of this stuff out. Park it right in front of the other Mac-Don Draper header. It's actually a flex header for the combine. All right, let's see if I actually know how to unhook this thing. All right, I think we can drive away from this header and leave it there. So we were able to back away. It's detached. Now I should be able to go and scoop up the hay bind header here. Biggest difference between these two headers are the crimper rollers and the auger. So the Draper header just has a kind of a rubber mat at the bottom, brings everything to the middle. And this one has an auger. And it also has these crimper rollers which kind of squish the crop and crack the stem so it can dry out quicker. That's why we're putting this one on, to make some hay. Well, we got her picked up. She's actually hooked up. I'm just kind of struggling with the hydraulics over there, so I'm going to bring it to the shop. Well, it looks like we got the header completely hooked up. I'm definitely going to let Brent check it over before it gets used, just to be sure I'm 100% got it hooked up good. So the swather is all ready to go. It's hooked up properly. I just filled it up with diesel. We're gonna rip it out to the hayfield we're gonna go to. It's about 70 acres of saltlander grass, and that's gonna be cut here in the next couple of days. I don't know if I'm gonna do it or my sister Nalene. But anyway, setting this Mac-Don swather, we're gonna drive down the road. It's got two gears, a low gear and a high gear, so we're gonna put that on. That'll automatically put the hazards on. So the little safety blinker lights on the sides of the header, and when I hit full speed in the swather, push this joystick all the way forward, the steering wheel gets really stiff, and that's so that you can't reef it all over the place and throw yourself into the ditch. It makes it a lot easier to drive down the road. Now this MacDon Swather does have a dual direction mode where I can spin the seat around, face that way, and drive down the highway basically backwards, but it handles a lot better and you can drive a lot faster like that. I'm not gonna be doing that today because I have a header on here. Otherwise you could possibly drop the header, kind of pick it up, hook up to it like a trailer, and tow it along behind you, but none of our headers here for the Swather have transport mode. But all of our fields are really close here, so we don't have to worry about putting this thing into transport mode. We're just gonna drive straight to the field like this. Had to drive through our canola crop to get out to this field, but this is it, the 70 acres of grass. This is a special type of grass and it's called AC Saltlander. The reason why we planted this variety in these 70 acres here is because this corner of the field never really grew crops good at all. And the reason for that is because the soil here has a ton of salt in it, and we call that a high saline area. So basically this grass, it was more salt tolerant than anything else we could really plant out here, and it turns out it actually does work pretty good. We're actually gonna get something off of this field, some grass hay, so that's nice. At least we can get something out of this 70-acre patch of land that isn't really worth that much otherwise. Next thing we're gonna be doing here today is cleaning out these straw packs. I'm gonna be starting with the special needs pack here, just because it's a lot higher than the one on that side. If I had to pick a pack to be cleaned out today, it would be this one. It's actually really overdue. Should have probably taken it out sooner, but we were busy, so we're gonna do it today, and hopefully we can get both of them done. Right on, so that's both straw packs here completely scooped out, and there's some fresh bedding in there. I think it took me about 3 hours. It works really good. You can do this with one person, and got that done. So let's see what else we can get up to today. We are back in the Swather this evening. I get to open up the first 4 rounds of this field and then go back and forth a couple times just to get the field started. But the reason why I'm doing it, you guys can see on the edge of the field there's grass, and then there's our canola crop, but in between there's some fuzzy looking stuff, and that fuzzy stuff is foxtail. It's a weed, and it's kind of got some furry hair on there. It kind of looks like, you can see, and that's why they call it foxtail. But those are all like awns or something, or burrs, and they're really grippy, and they are really bad for cows to eat. So we're just gonna skip that row. You can see it literally along the entire edge of this field here. So we're just gonna leave that there. We'll probably mow it with just a regular mower, but we're gonna stay just inside of that and take just the grass. We don't want to feed that to the cows. Just letting the Swather warm up again, and then we'll get started. Turn the GPS on already. We'll make a new field. Are you finished with field? Yes. Create new field. Straight A positive. The width of this haybine header, I believe, is 16 foot, so we'll type in 16 foot. So just getting going here. Everything looks good. We got her set up good this morning, I guess. And yeah, you can see we're just skipping that meter on the side there with all that nasty foxtail. You can see still a little bit in the field here and there, a couple of patches, but still not that much, so it should be fine. You can see out the back of the Swather there, we're throwing it pretty wide. And the reason for that is the quicker it's gonna dry out, the wider we throw it. So we're planning on haying this stuff. There's no rain in the forecast, but you never know what could happen with a thunderstorm or something like that. So the quicker you can dry your hay out, the better, and then the quicker you can bale it. And once it's baled, it's safe. Once it's laying out in swaths in the field, obviously if it gets rained on, the quality is gonna be a lot less. So that's why we want to spread it out so wide. Awesome, so we made the 4 rounds around the field. We always want to do 4 just because then it gives us 2 big swaths. We have a class 2700 rake, and that's gonna bring 2 swaths into 1, and then we'll go over it with the baler. And before we go up and down the field, we'll get the drone in the air. There's one more thing I want to get done today, and that is cleaning out the manure alleys in the straw pack barn. Earlier today we took the straw packs out, put fresh straw in there, Now I want to clean the manure alleys that are right by the feed alley in there. I need the Bobcat for that. That's why we're in the sand room right now. So we're gonna get this thing. We're gonna grab that bigger bucket right there. We gotta scoop the manure out of those alleys. Now this is something that Dima always does. It's kind of like a weekly chore for him. He always just takes care of it, but he's not here for this week. He went to the mountains as well, so good for him. But that means we gotta do a couple things that he regular would do. So that's what I'm doing this evening. So earlier today, to take those packs out, we put all the cows in the alley. Now we're gonna put all the cows on the pack. You can see there's not a ton of manure here yet because these alleys are actually pretty big for 15 cows or something. The last time we would have cleaned these alleys out was Sunday. Today is Wednesday evening, so 3 or 4 days. And that's how much manure is in there. It doesn't build up too quickly at all. So the manure from those 2 alleys, we always just pile up right here. It's not the greatest solution in the world, but it works for now. Now all we gotta do is let the cows back in here. So those are some good looking packs now. Got her all done. That is gonna be it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out the Instagram @SassDutchKid, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.